How's it going, Bigness? Just trying to get my bearings here real quick. Okay, cool. Thank you, yeah. It was really nice to get multiple shinies in one go. And that's what I aim to do tonight as well. If everything goes to plan, that is, which it probably won't. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, for whatever reason, where I last left off, the calibration that I was using to get the second shiny Charmander was bugging out. And we've been running into that issue pretty consistently now, where just sometimes, for whatever reason, I'm not hitting anywhere close to the seed that I've been normally hitting for no apparent reason. And the only way to fix it is to try a different spread with different settings. And at worst, I need to totally reset the file and start from scratch. So we'll do what we got to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to just go for another spread with different settings first. And hopefully that will solve all of our problems. So let me get the right window open here. So here's our seed document. And we're just going to start by plugging in some of these seeds. And I'm going to start in this column right here, which is the seeds for stereo, audio, and L equals A setting. Pressing A, no held button. So that's what I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to plug it into Pokefinder, that seed, and see if there's a close shiny frame. And this one's not too bad. It's only 1500, but I usually won't go for anything unless it's 1000 or less, or maybe 1200. I'm going to go ahead and get a new spread here. Here we go. I got a target at 800 frames, so that's pretty nice. Jolly Nature. So now I need to plug in this information into the 10 lines. Jolly Mail. IVs 1, 4, 14, 7. And that's 2025. There's our target. These are our settings. Stereo L equals A. A button held none. That's this one. It's going to go in Eon Timer as such. And so now we're ready to go, except I need to make sure the settings in-game are correct. I'll jump in real quick. So stereo, L equals A. And we should get a pretty good indication on the very first attempt whether there's shenanigans afoot or not. If there are, I might just go ahead and reset the save file right away. But we'll see. right. Let's tweak this just a little bit. Okay, modest. Male. We just might be in the pocket. Things are looking good so far. For those of you who would like to know more about the challenge, or are just kind of curious about what's going on here in general, you're welcome to use some of the chat commands that are listed up top. You can type in !rules for a brief summary of what this challenge is all about. And if you want a more in-depth look at the rules, as well as the entire spreadsheet of all the Pokemon I'm going to be hunting, feel free to type in !Ulof, ULOF, to get access to that spreadsheet. Okay, yeah, we're in pretty good shape, I think. If this is correct, 1 seed early, actually pretty late on the frames. So I don't know about that one. Let's do another one real quick. I'm a lonely boy. Where's lonely? There it is. Oh wow. Yeah, no, we're in there. 1 seed early, 1 frame early. So we're exactly where we want to be. No shenanigans so far. That'll help. Damn. What can I say? There's no time to sit around. We got work to do. Here, hold on. I need to open this thingy. There we go. We have acquired Yellow Mander number 2. We only need one more to complete the line. But I think we'll go to the next Squirtle for the following. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. We're going to get 2 tonight, at least. If I'm really in the pocket, maybe 3. But let's not push our luck too much. Yeah, I do feel like, you know, it is, I hate to say it, partly a skill issue, you know. But I'm getting better. And it is kind of unavoidable, the whole secret ID thing, you know, not knowing which ID combo you have and having to do trial and error, but that was the second attempt. I already eliminated the first one last time. Damn. Oh, I don't need to fight this thing. Nick, you saying we should go for the third and final Yellow Mander next? Is that what you're requesting? Yeah, I can see why you might be a little confused based on everything going on here. You hate to see it. Nobody deserves a tackle miss. Oh my god. 2 tackle misses in a row? What is the accuracy? 95? It's pretty wild. right, let's go ahead and trade this sucker over. All right, trade commencing. Package received. Baby Bulbasaur, good question. So the real Red and Blue games, as they were released, are totally walled off from the modern generation of Pokemon games. The only way for you to actually access Red and Blue would be through the Virtual Console, which I specifically am not including at all for this challenge, with the exception of Shiny Celebi from the Crystal Virtual Console, because that's the only legitimate way to get Shiny Celebi outside of an event. So the earliest is whenever right after the last cutoff, which was after Generation 2. You're doing males and females regardless of gender difference. That's interesting. I would say that's pretty hardcore in general. Right, there are ways to do it, but because of the incompatibility of the games, there's no official way to do it. Like, you have to inject some... you have to fill in some blanks, basically, if you want to transfer anything from Gen 1 and 2 up to any future generation. Because it was before PIDs were used. It goes from DVs to IVs. So there's a couple blanks that need to be converted. Many people have done it, and done it well. But it's just not for me. I prefer to go with this. Streamlines things a bit. Keeps me within the legal realm of the Pokemon universe. Alright, let's get you up here. Alright. Did I like that button press? Thought it was okay. Let's go with it. Yeah, because if you're doubling up on everything for genders, I know there are genderless Pokemon too, but you'll be busy. That's for sure. I haven't detected a delay in chat, but perhaps. Well, hopefully nothing urgent happens. Yeah, I am going to full odds hunt Shiny Celebi, actually. As brutal as it is. Because I'm going to be getting it from Crystal Virtual Console. And there's no way to RNG it, at least not at present. So that's going to be a full odds hunt. This whole shebang is going to have several full odds hunts, traditional shiny hunts, as well as RNG manipulation. Whatever is the most efficient option for me that I have at my disposal. All right, so I do need to know what my IDs are, potentially. That's pretty fun. So let me take this out real quick. All right. So my new ID is 495. And I'm assuming that I'm probably going to be around here, making my secret ID potentially 81, which is kind of fun. Just 81. And now I'm going to find a new seed, look for a close shiny frame, and we're back in business. "45 frames, Jesus. Yeah, that's not necessary at all. I would like to multi-hunt Celebi, but the problem is for me to actually get decent footage. I have a capture card on my 3DS XL, which is what I'm going to primarily be playing the game on. And I have one other 2DS that also has Crystal Virtual Console. So I could dual hunt it, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. It would be a little bit anticlimactic for me to get it on the game that doesn't have video output, in my opinion. So we'll see about it. That's a long ways down the road. We won't worry about Crystal Virtual Console until we hit Gen 7. Maybe by the time I get there, there will actually be a valid method of RNG manipulation. That's the hope. All right, a frame about 1,000 away, which is good enough for me. Back to the 10 lines here. "81. What an interesting ID. All right, we're going for the squirt. The squirt is hardy, 1326. 2105. All right, settings are good. Stereo L equals A. A button held, none. This is our seed timer going into Eon timer here. This is our frame counter for the game. Go into calibration, and we're ready to rock. Of course, I won't know for sure if everything is working as it should until after this first attempt. Yeah, the living decks alone would keep me busy, but you're also doing the trades from Ranch. I don't envy you there. Because don't you have to wait it's like one trade per day or something? Female Squirtle. Knave. Okay. Hold on, let me just narrow this real quick. Okay. This could be right. Yeah, we'll give it another go. Just to be sure. Okay, so that's not too bad then. That's weird. But possible. We'll have to do that again. Hopefully I'm not being sent on a wild goose chase right now. Okay, there might be something fishy going on here because my seeds are all over the place and the frames are too. Well, it would... Why don't I get a level to confirm? How about? Just to be sure, if it ends up being off, or if I don't get a result, then I'll just search for another seed with different settings. And hopefully that fixes it. It has in the past. Ooh. Tackle miss, that's brutal. Also my attack is low, because I'm modest, that's right. But we have horses in our favor. I'm sure that's just how it was meant to be on the CRT. Alright, no results, which means there are indeed shenanigans afoot. So, not to worry, we just need to go for a different target with different settings. And that could be the solution. Alright, so I tried stereo L equals A. What if I try mono L equals A? Really changing it up. Oh. $200 ain't gonna cut it. $1,199. I'll take that. Especially since we need to get a move on if we're going to get a second shiny tonight. Oh, it's female. That's fun too. 14, 18, 29. $8, 15, 25. Okay. Mono L equals A, yada yada. True, and the CRT screens are definitely more durable than your modern displays, I would say. Unless, of course, you drop them. Then you're in for a world of pain. Careful. Okay, yeah, we're good now. That fixed it. The mysterious force that really wants us to not catch these shinies has been defeated for now. Because that was one seed early on frame. Oh, we got a female. Is this it? Heck yeah, baby! All right, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Oh, man. All right. Wow, I think that's the first time that I've guessed the Secreti right first try. Maybe I did it one other time, but damn. Oh, no, you're getting the crit. It's down to the wire. Yep, good for you. They'll still take poison damage if they knock themselves out. So, like, the text plays where they still take damage even though they're already fainted? Or they get negative HP. I got you. So theoretically, they could be going below 0 on their HP, but it's not going to like show up or anything on the display. Yeah, I would say Gen 1 has quite a few little quirks like that. All right. Let's knock this trade out again. Trade commencing. Trade has commenced. All right, let's knock out number 3. Number 3 for the night, that is. All right, we're going for Bulbasaur number 3 now. We will need to get 4 Bulbasaur overall because of the female Venusaur form. Nine 303. Presumed secret ID 7672. Yep. All right, and now going into seeds. We're going to stay on these settings, so mono L equals A. And then if it ends up being fishy again, we'll just switch. But hopefully this will just work. You know, is that too much to ask? I don't know. So, what I've basically been doing is I've caught 6 starters so far, 2 of each, 2 Bulbasaur, 2 Charmander, and 2 Squirtle. And I will need to get 1 of each of the lines, so 3 each for the challenge, as well as an additional Bulbasaur because Venusaur, the female Venusaur, has a distinct form. Okay, I have a really close shiny frame here, so hopefully this is going to work, because it'll be nice and fast. All right, so that's 500 away, which is just... If it was any faster, it would be impossible to hit, but... Well, not impossible, but it would be really hard for me to hit, so... That's probably best case scenario in terms of efficiency. Oh, yeah, I don't want to change that. All right, Bulba. Shiny. What is this? Docile. $31, $16, $28. $30, $0, $25. Quite the interesting spread indeed. All right, these are the right settings here. Get you back up there. And plug in. Nope. And 510 frames. We'll definitely be button mashing this one. Mono L equals A button held none. No, I have 2 shiny Bulbasaur now. I don't have any of the regular starters yet. I'm going to probably breed for those. just because I don't need to read with precision with those guys. So it's only for the shinies that I'm doing the RNG at the start of the game. Because I need the shiny form and the regular forms. I'm prioritizing the shiny forms because they're the hardest to get. And so I'd either have to breed for them, which would be a pain in the butt, or do this, which is also a pain in the butt. But it's a pain in the butt that I know, so I'm going to go for it anyway. Yeah, that's fast. Just enough time, though. All right. Let's narrow these filters here real quick. Okay. This is not looking good in terms of it being good, if that makes sense. I'll give it one more try. If it's still looking fishy, we'll pivot once again. No issue. Are you with me now, baby Bulba? It's 2 of each. 2 shinies of each. Is it the same one? Oh, don't you just love it when that happens? Yeah, it's the exact same one. Okay, well... I'll get a level on it just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure this is a bust, this seed here. Well, I need a normal and shiny form of every individual Pokemon, including evolution stages. So, it's not that Squirtle and Charmander have different forms, it's that I need a shiny of the Charmander, the Charmeleon, the Charizard, and, you know, so on and so forth. And Bulbasaur just has one extra because of the form, the different form of Venusaur. It's all good. No results. I'm gonna call it. This one's BS. But we've been preparing for this moment. Alright, so I gotta change my settings somehow. Maybe go back to stereo, L and R. Why not? Stereo, L and R. Perfect. We have another naughty spread, 737 frames away. We love to see it. $12,921. $29, $27, $11. Spread, calcs, stereo, L and R. A held none. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Stereo, L and R, A held none. That's what we're looking for. Now we have at least a little bit more breathing room when it comes to that frame. Okay. This is potentially fine. I do actually need to get a level here just to check where I'm at, but we could be good. Well, I'm glad that you find it interesting. Not everyone does. I will probably, before we get through all of these starters, I'll probably give a more thorough breakdown of exactly what I'm doing. But the essential part of it is I am trying to do a double frame perfect input so that I land on the correct starting seed for the game. The seed basically determines like what the outcomes are going to be. And then I also need to hit another frame perfect input after the seed, which is the exact frame that the shiny should be on. So it's 2 frame perfect inputs, and that's what makes it so tricky in this game in general. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, you have to do the double frame perfect thing because you have to manipulate the seed and you have to manipulate the frame. That is not the case for all games, especially Generation 3. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I was 2 seeds early. That's not the case for all games. In the Hoenn games, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, the seed is going to be constant, usually. It's going to be mainly fixed, so you only have to worry about the frame. So that's just 1 input. So starting in Fire Red and Leaf Green is kind of brutal. But there's a whole lot else that goes into it. Every time I start a new game, because, you know, I can't get more than 1 starter per file, so I have to reset the file. Well, every time I do that, I get a new trainer ID and secret ID. And I don't know what my secret ID is at the start of each playthrough. So I have to basically confirm it by doing these RNGs. And that very last Squirtle that I landed on, that was my first try on the getting the ID correct. Modest. So now I've hit a Bulbasaur of some kind, but I don't know which. So I'm typing in its stats into a program called the 10 Lines, which is going to search for that Bulbasaur across multiple different seeds and multiple different frames. So I can tell how much I was off by my seed, if I was off by the seed, and how much I was off by the frame, again, if I was off by the frame. And so looking at my results here, I have a result that is almost dead on the frame that I wanted to hit, but 1 seed early. So I'm going to assume that's the one that I hit. And I can be pretty confident about it because the calibration that I'm using for my timer has worked really well for the past targets, so I'm probably not going to be super off in terms of hitting my seed or my frame. There's 2 possibilities at this stage once I hit my target. Either the target will be shiny, meaning I guessed my secret ID correctly, and we move on to the next one, or I hit the target but it's not shiny, meaning I need to try a different secret ID. And at this point, I have it narrowed down to a pretty small range. I'm hitting, usually at the beginning of the game, I'm hitting within a window of about 3 frames. So I don't think we've had to confirm, we haven't had to go through more than 3 different secret IDs before getting it in a single game. Hopefully that doesn't happen anyway. Okay. Yeah, definitely leaning on the early side. I was 2 seeds early that time and 1 frame late. on seed 1 frame early. We're doing something right. I just hit it again, didn't I? Yeah. You hate to see it. Once again, 1 on seed, 1 frame early. No, I was 1 frame early that time. Who knows what I hit there? There's too many of these. Looks like I was 2 seeds early that time. Guess I was when I first started this, so. Bashful. On seed 1 frame late. That grinds my gears, I tell you what. Never a good look. That appears to be 1 frame late. 1 seed, or 1 seed early, 1 frame late. Okay. Might be lagging here a little bit. I've hit this one before, haven't I? Yeah, well, 2 frames late, actually. 1 seed early. I think I might be running out of steam. That's part of it. Hello, Boofy, or Balfy. Not quite. I believe you when you said you felt something, but maybe it was some interference. Yeah, 1 seed early, 1 frame late. I think I'm gonna have... This is gonna be my last one. Last one for today. Unfortunately, Baby Bulbasaur, you're often wrong most of the time when it comes to which RNGs are good and which RNGs are not so good. I've talked extensively so far about the feeling that you get when you're doing one of these and how they're almost always deceptive. But I will say that did feel pretty decent just now. But there you go. I'm a lonely boy. What did I hit for the end of the night? Am I getting worse or am I getting better? I guess I can't get any better than 1 frame off on seed, now can I? 1 seed late, 1 frame late. So if I was on seed, that I probably would have hit it. It is what it is, though. But yeah, all you need to do is tune in next time, and I'll knock this guy out in probably the first 5 minutes, you know? Unless, of course, some shenanigans step in again, but I hope not. Yeah, you know, I'm pretty happy with tonight as a whole. Getting 2 shinies that close together, it's a real confidence booster, I think. Lets me know that I actually know how to do this thing that I'm trying to do right now. Anyway, before I go, I did want to briefly kind of go through what the sheet's looking like right now, because I do think that would be pretty nice to look at here. So yeah, I don't think I've actually pulled this up on stream yet. Maybe in like one of the smaller boxes, but this is the full spreadsheet for the challenge, all the Pokemon that I have to catch. And as you can see, there's a column for the normal forms and the column for the shiny forms. And so far, the starters are looking pretty filled out now. 2 more Bulbasaur and 1 more of these guys, and then we'll be done with them for the shiny forms anyway, but those are the ones that are the headache. And yeah, then we'll finally start playing the game. So that would be really cool. As far as when I'll be streaming again, Thursday afternoon, probably around 2. And we'll make it an extra long stream so that hopefully I can actually finish with all of these starters. Because I got 2 in this stream. I think I could get 4 and maybe like a 2 or 3 hour stream. That's feasible, right? yes, I'm going for the cat Pikachus. Obviously can't catch them in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but yeah, they're a part of this. All the forms. No forms are excluded. No distinct forms at all. So anyway, thank you